Well guys, welcome back. We've got a new addition to the channel here. So I recently picked up this Chinese mini skid at an auction here, local to my town. This is an SCL850. It is, I believe it's like a knockoff of the Diggits or the Huracans or Hurricanes, however you want to say it. Overall, I think that it'll end up being a good machine. But we already have problems. So these machines are very prone to that dual gear pump down there going bad, and this one already went bad. I have 0.5 hours on it. I knew this going into it. It was going to be an issue, more than likely. We dropped it off where we have the firewood, and I drove it down here to my place, and it failed right there in the yard. So I had one of my neighbors come over with a skid loader, and he put it in the garage for me here. So I already ordered a pump. I already actually ordered the pump before I even bought the machine. So now we're going to go ahead and start doing some maintenance stuff on it. So today, I think what we're going to do first, I'm going to try and drain all the hydraulic oil. Let me see if I can get a good picture or video here for you guys. Let me just show you what this hydraulic oil looks like. If you guys know anything about hydraulics, this is going to blow your mind. That's the oil. So very, very bad. That is not even close to hydraulic oil. You can see even on the cap on the inside over here, we got some water in there. It might be hard to see, but there's water in this oil. This oil they send with these things, very bad. So overall, I think the machine's going to be good for us here. I'm going to try and get a set of pallet forks and a grapple for it, and go from there. I already checked out a couple things that not too happy about with it, but it is what it is. You pay for what you get. You see the welds right there. This is for the boom. The weld is non-existent on that one. It's okay, got a welder, we can make that. Welds are good on both of these sides here. Not the best welds, but at least they're there. So we just gotta put a weld down in that corner. Let's see here. The muffler here had a shroud of some kind, like a neoprene shroud on it. The piping going into the motor had some weird paper type of, I don't even know, exhaust cover on it. When I started up very first thing, it almost caught on fire. So I ripped all that off already, took this shroud off. It doesn't smoke or anything no more. And I drove it 50 to 100 yards down here. So I think we're good. Tracks seem nice. They're actually tensioned quite well already. They might be a little tight, so we can loosen that up. Not a big deal. I looked over it very briefly. Only found like 2 bolts that were loose, and they were, non-important bolts, I'd say. They just kind of held some covers in place. So not a big deal. I will be checking the tracks and whatnot down here. But I think just for this, oh, and the biggest one, the plate. It is not your standard dingo attachment plate. It is its own proprietary attachment plate, just like how the Bobcats are, except it's not the same plate for like the Bobcats have. So there are kits to make your own plate, or you can buy a plate for like $700 or $800. I have access to getting some of the dingo attachments, so I might just go borrow an attachment, bring it here, see what needs to be changed, and then just cut this one up and make it right. I mean, I've got plenty of metal, in various places that I can make it the way that I want it to. So here's the bucket that came with it. I think it's a 39-inch bucket. But guys, overall, I mean, it was $3,500 out the door after all the fees and whatnot. You're gonna have issues with these things. It's not perfect, and I knew that. So, I'm mechanically inclined enough to fix all this crap on my own, so that's what we're going to do. So today, like I said, we're going to go and drain the hydraulic oil, start taking off some of this stuff in here. I got to get that pump out, and then start looking at the suction line and seeing how I can upgrade it, make it larger. That is another big issue with these machines. It does have the aux here for the hydraulics. We don't have the handle for it. Let's see here, in here. It is right there. So we can add it in. I just need to get an M8 by 125 thread, I believe, handle of some kind. But here's a view from the operators section. So you have your, this is your hour meter, battery, fuel tank, choke. I believe this is a battery disconnect. I don't like this though. I need to check into the wiring and see for sure. And we have a little light switch here. The light does work every now and then. Throttle cable definitely needs to be adjusted. I believe these handles, from what I understand, I need to kind of grind out a little bit in here to get the max speed out of them, because they bottom out on the metal. So I don't think that's quite right either. Little step here with some type of foam, hard foam block. These have the Rado 740 engines, which from what I was able to find, it's just a clone of the Harbor Freight Predator engines. So from what I can see, the parts should be pretty easy to get. So, and the battery, I cranked this thing for quite a while to get it started when I first got it, and the battery hasn't died yet. It's been okay. So let's drain the hydraulic tank up there, start taking apart some of the hydraulics, and we'll try and get the pump out. And yeah, we'll go from there. Then we'll work on the engine a little bit and drain that out. And I think we're gonna get a new fuel pump for it. A couple bucks for a fuel pump, drain the engine oil, and we'll just go over a couple of the issues we find along the way. All right, so we're gonna try and drain the hydraulic oil now. I saw another video, some guy took a PVC pipe and he cut it in half. So that's what I went and did. I'm gonna try and save some of this because I'd like to see about the possibility of actually sending this oil out and get an oil sample done. I'm very curious to know what this oil is, and it's not too expensive to do this. It's got to find the right company from what I understand. So we're gonna try and save some of it, and I heard it's gonna come out Russian. So we're gonna take this cap off the top, see how this goes. This thing's quite full. Something tells me once I get this going, I'm not gonna be able to get it to stop. So you guys might be along for the fail of this as well. I wonder if I can't. See, I could do that, but I do want to save some of this. You know what? I think I'm gonna cut this here. Oh man. You know what? I have this shitty cup here. Go ahead and drain it into this, and I'll just scoop some out as it's coming. But I heard this comes out Russian pretty good. Oh, that is disgusting. That is gross. Wow. That's 10 times worse than I thought it was going to be. There is so much metal in that. I gotta stop this flow. This thing is gonna overflow. Wow, guys. That is way worse than I thought it was gonna be. Holy cow. It's also an issue I see with a lot of metal in these tanks, so I'm very curious to see what happens once we get down to it. Well, at least we know it was full. Oh, gosh. I can see bits of metal and stuff. Something coming out of this. There's something, a big piece of something. Yeah, that's... Oh, it's hard to see. Look at that. That's like a chunk of something came out of that. What even is that? It's like part of a gasket or something. Wow. I'm going to get a rag quick. And I lost my rags, guys. It's alright, we'll just open a new pack. I'll tell you what, if you guys want a good deal on rags, not sure what they are anymore, but these Scott's shop tags, or shop rags, I got like a pack of these things on Amazon a couple years ago. It was like, I forget if it was like 30 rolls or 60 rolls, but it's a nice blue shop rags. I definitely did not pay more than 40 or 50 bucks for this. And these things are great. I'm not even halfway through the box, and I even gave some packs away. Amazon's good for some things. Okay, let's start this over again. Definitely gonna be some oil down in there, but that's all right. Looks like we're starting to slow down just a little bit here. So the plan here is hopefully to get this oil out, take the top of the tank off, because I heard there's a lot of issues with water getting to the top of the tanks. We're going to take that off, and then we're going to go ahead and try and clean the tank itself out, get the pumps off, get the cooler itself off, and then start looking up some ideas on how to flush the tank and flush all the hydraulics. I don't know if it's as simple as fill the tank up, try and run the hydraulics with like good oil, like AW46, drain it out again, and then, refill it again. I mean, it's going to be quite expensive, if I have to do this a couple times. I'm sure this looks close to about 5 gallons of oil here, so if I got to do that a few times, it might be expensive, but I'm not quite sure the best way to get all the bad oil out of there. So, and I don't want to be having too many issues here going down the line after this. So, I mean, I don't want to spare any expense right now, so we'll do whatever needs to be done. But, all right, we'll be back once this is all drained out. All right, guys, so it's been a couple hours. The fluid is drained out, all of it. I let this stuff sit. It'd be kind of hard to see here. Kind of see how dark it is at the bottom there? It's just gross. Like, hopefully you guys know a good amount about hydraulic oil, but it's not supposed to look like that. It should be more of a brown, tannish color, not a lime or like a darker green-ish. I don't even know what you want to call that. Shouldn't look like that. So I think what we're gonna do next, I got the drain plug back in. I'm gonna work on, I don't have any fittings, which kind of sucks, so hopefully there's not too much oil left in here. But I'm gonna take the cooler out next, and then we're gonna take the tank out. There's still a little bit left at the bottom of the tank. I want to take the tank out, try and clean up. You can unbolt this top here, which is, they say that's the biggest problem with these, getting water in them. They don't seal the top of this. So set the camera up, we'll do a time lapse here. I'll try and get this stuff out, and then we'll be back when we have a deeper dive of what's going on inside of there. Well, guys, we got the cooler out, so you can see the fan on the back side, which I've heard mixed things about flipping the fan blades. Have to do a little more research before we put that back in. It was a little tight in there. Nothing super bad. I've seen some other machines like the, I'm gonna butcher this, but it's the KKT 223 or something like that, the 23 horsepower yellow machines that you guys usually see. They have one that, that's also a 23 horsepower machine. They have one that just like, it flips up. So that would be really nice to have. I don't know if that's gonna work for this setup. I might try, but also it was two hoses and 4 bolts. Like it really wasn't that bad. I mean, once I got the right wrench here, it took me 5 minutes to get this whole assembly out. So Let me set this down and then I'll show you guys a little bit deeper in here. Let me get a light. I'm just gonna set this down and cover it real quick. Out. So, all right, let's show you guys down inside here. So you get a little more clear picture here. What's going on? So that's the pump in question right there. So look at all that trash down in there. It's disgusting. So, well, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna start taking apart the hydraulic tank here. To get these bolts out. It doesn't look too bad. And this is the fuel tank. Look at the weird foam they put in between the tanks there. I've got some nice thick foam I can throw in there instead of that. Get that crap out of there. We're gonna make this thing a beast by the time we're all done with it. All right, let's get to it. Okay guys, I got the 2 hydraulic lines off the bottom. I got the 2 bolts out. 1 bolt is in the bottom for the hydraulic tank, and then 1 is for the gas tank, which the gas tank will be coming out as well. So let's go ahead and grab this thing and pull it out. Get this stuff out of the way before I step on it. I know I might. Let's see how this goes. Okay. Nowhere near as bad as I thought that was gonna be. Set it in the front yard. What in the world? That looks gross in there. I'm gonna get this fuel tank out next. Nothing like doing surgery on a brand new machine, brand new to you machine. What kind of clamp do they put on these lines? There's like a little baby 1/4-inch line down here with a clamp I've never seen before. Fuel tank's out. Nice. Alright guys, so this is going to be a little hard to do with a camera in my hand, so it's going to be back and forth I think here. Me popping and saying what's going on, but I'll just show you what's going on here to start. So this line right here, that runs to the front left of the pipe, that was the most outside line, like towards this side on the hydraulic reservoir. I think that's the feed for the pumps. This one right here goes right there. That is the suction line from the pumps. Well, then yes, I'm not quite sure what this one does. This might be, I know it's not the return line. Maybe there is 2 suction lines on this circuit. I need to do some more digging and see. But that's what those 2 lines are. So those 2 are coming off right now. I already have them marked here for the tank. And I took a small video for myself for later to remember where they go. I'm probably going to mark them. This line right here, that runs back, that has to come off. This line right here runs down and over to here. So that's what it's going to be going on here, just taking off those 4 lines, and then we're going to take off 2 bolts on either side right there, and then there is a Lovejoy coupler inside that holds us all to the engine. So I'll be back when I have this all torn apart. Alright, so we got the pump out down here on the ground. All this stuff that's dripping right now, that's not hydraulic oil. That is water. There's water coming out of the pumps and all the lines and everything. So, wasn't that bad. It's going to make a mess, but once you get all this other crap out of the way, you actually can sit in here pretty decently. So, I think I'm going to rip apart the pump because now I'm just playing a waiting game until the new pump comes in. Maybe try and button some of this stuff up. I'm going to let this leak out overnight, see what else comes out. But let's go ahead and rip the pump out, or rip the pump apart and see what's in the pump. Alright, so we got the pump out. Got it on a somewhat clean-ish work area here. All you need to do is take these 4 bolts out, as far as I know. Guys, if you were taking this apart and you're gonna plan on rebuilding it, I'm not, but make sure that you take this off in the correct sections, and make sure you lay it out right. That way when you put it all back together, nothing is missing. Nothing is placed in a weird position. Let me get some other tools here. Pry bar and a hammer here just in case. Okay, so we got two little dowel pins, it looks like, right here. That was on like that. I'm just gonna take stuff and lay it. Hopefully that I remember. I guess I can watch the video back too. I don't see any blown out seals just yet, to be perfectly honest with you. Not quite sure how you're supposed to get this off. I probably have to take this Lovejoy coupler off. Alright, I'll be back when I have this Lovejoy coupler off. Wow, that was not tight at all. Alright guys, get that Lovejoy coupler off. Another blown out seal. Ah, that's a shame. Well, that is the issue there. Let's see here, get close up. Blown out seal. Blown out seal. So that is the issue with the pump. Yeah, that sucks. Let's see here. That's shot. That's shot. I know you can take these apart. I've never done that. This doesn't even sound good. Well, okay. Guys, I tried getting the pieces of the pump out. Maybe I'll have to watch a video. I'm not really that worried about it. I bet you it looks just like all the rest of them I've seen. So, yeah, next time you see me, we will, we'll have a pump, hopefully. Should be here in a few days, and we will go from there. So, thank you guys for watching. Do appreciate it. Hopefully here very shortly we will be able to have some nice footage of this thing running. But yeah, check back here hopefully in about a week or so, and we'll be putting this new pump back in. Thanks for watching.